Hemingway made with these authors over lunch has become an anecdote about his life. They bet Ernest Hemingway $10 that he could not write a short story in 6 words. They bet Ernest Hemingway $10 that he could not write a short story in 6 words. And Hemingway took the bet because he was a genius when it came to making words count. He took the bet and he took a napkin and scribbled these 6 words on the napkin that are a powerful story. Here's the 6 words that Ernest Hemingway wrote a short story in 6 words. The words are for sale, baby shoes never worn. That's a powerful, powerful story. Everybody in here this morning got a 6-word story. Here's another story that somebody might have. There has been a terrible accident. Six words. There has been a terrible accident. Six words. Here's my 6-word story. I'm leaving. The marriage is over. Here's somebody else's story. Your position is no longer needed. Here's somebody else's story. I just want to be friends. Here's somebody else's story. The cancer isn't responding to treatment. Six words. Here's somebody else's story. You are not able to conceive. That's somebody else's story. Here's the last story. Here's a rose off the casket. 6 words. Did I say it was over? No, it's not. Because God has 6 words. That's the point of this whole sermon. God will not waste your pain. God will not waste your pain. God will not waste your pain. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. God will not waste your pain. Cry in the midnight, but weeping will endure for a night. But joy will come in the morning. Let them fire you on your job. No weapon sown against me will be able to prosper. Let your enemies think they have the upper hand. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. But God will not waste your pain. Go through whatever you got to go through. Cry as long as you think you need to cry. But then pick yourself up, take a bath, put some clothes on, come back to church on Sunday morning and said, I thought I'd never stop crying, but the Lord dried my tears. I thought I'd never laugh again, but here I am in the house of God, testifying that if you trust and never doubt, He will surely bring you out. Somebody got a story that I just mentioned a moment ago.
You know what I've noticed about God's trials? He hardly ever tells you, this is a trial, and if you hold out for 6 months, you'll be through. And some of us get to 5 months and 29 days, and we give up. We didn't know we only had one more day. Never give up. Never give up. Never give up. There's no precedent in the Bible for giving up. God determines how long the test will last, not we. Never give up. You cannot bypass endurance. You know whom I'm speaking to at the moment? Me. You cannot bypass endurance and enter into the promises of God. You can come so far, but the completeness is only through endurance. And just when it seems impossible to hold out, that's the time to hold out. Don't give in. I would like to say that to several of you individually. You're in the test. You're doing all right. Just hang in there. Don't back out. Don't give up. God is faithful. I've been asked sometimes if I had a message to leave for posterity, what would it be? I always say I can give it to you in 3 words. God is faithful. God is faithful.
God will not waste your pain. God will not waste your pain. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. God will not waste your pain. Cry in the midnight, but weeping will endure for a night, but joy will come in the morning. Everybody here, everybody here has a 6-word story, but thank God that's just one chapter. God has not written the end of the book. Because when you look in the back of the book, there are some answers in the back of the book. If you don't know how things are going to turn out in your life, the answer is in the back of the book. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven like a bride dressed up for her husband. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. There shall be no more sorrow or crying, no more pain or death, for the former things are passed away. Behold, we see through a glass darkly, but one day face to face I will know, even as also I am known.
Six words. How many words? Oh, okay, I get that's enough of that, TD. I appreciate it though. Don't get me wrong. Anyway, good morning. Okay, now let me address one of these. I need some new material. Well, yes and no. Because the Bible has not changed, has it? No, it has not, right? It's the same words that most of them have been reading for years. Same words. The problem the situation is that certain words put together affect you differently, even though they're the same words you've always heard. Because let's just say you just found out that you did have cancer last week, and somebody, someplace found out they got it. And Lord, I am thankful it has not been me yet. I don't know what the future holds. But sometimes listening, because I used to feel the same way about the Bible. So why am I keep going to the church and listening to the same words every day, every weekend, same word? It hadn't changed. Because, and the preacher sat me down and talked to me. He said, if you hear I'm hungry and you're not hungry, those words don't mean anything to you. But when you hear I'm hungry and you happen to be hungry, it has a whole different connotation to it. So let's not look at, you listen to things and you look at things the way, because you feel a certain way, like I used to do, still do sometimes. And so it's not always about you. It's about other people. Because I have heard like running. Yeah, I mean, there was in the army. I was running. We had to do all this running, right? All this stuff all the time. I know I've been done with it for a while, but that's where I grew up. So hey, there's certain there's certain cadence that I could run all day long, and then there are some, I was ready to quit right there after about 3 minutes. So so chill out there. Now if you guys have some suggestions about some stories for me. I love to talk. I would love to play them. You can send me a link. I got to figure what my email address. I got an email address for the show, and it's called LO. Well, I'll find out what it is in a little while here. Now I'll let you know before I get off. But it'll be the email for the show, and then hey, you can tell me what you want if you got something. It is not the. I know it's not the Bible, but the words. The words are comforting sometimes, just like in the Bible. The words are comforting sometimes. And even though they are the same words, okay, same words, depending on where you are in your life at this moment, depending on what's going on with you, it affects you differently. It just does. So stop whining about my things here. But next week I'll play a new one. And I got a bunch of them. But the few that I play though, just touch you right here. Quit playing the same stuff over and listen. I'm telling you guys. Okay. See, there's another one. Okay. All right. Well, that's good stuff. Okay. But now, if you guys want to send me you want to send me another some more access or give me a website or something where I can go and find these new ones, I'll be glad to play them. Okay, I'll be glad to do that. And here's my email address for the show. It is LOJIC 2025. Okay. LOJIC 2025 at Gmail. Okay. LOJIC 2025. So stop whining. Okay. I'm going to get some new material one of these days. Okay. LOJIC okay, uh, 2025 at this is for the show, gmail.com. Okay, so I got it. So now y'all can stop whining about my thing. I like my things, to tell you the truth. Okay, all right. So stop whining out there. Okay, but there is the email for the show. Okay, and that's all that's the only reason I email. So if you have some suggestions or some access to things that I haven't thought about, feel free to just give me a call. Okay, I mean send me an email to that. Okay, I would say don't be calling me though, but you can send me an email. So other than that, how is everybody doing today? So for the whiners out there who are crying about, I'm tell you something. I'm tell you something. There are some things you need to hear. Now, like me, I watch Mission Impossible at least 500 times a year. Right? Mission Impossible, the old one. I love the old stuff. Okay, because it takes me to a simple place in life. I like the old stuff. Okay. Now, what's this stuff about Obama might be getting indicted? Now, I don't want to see any president indicted, a former president indicted, whether it's Trump, whether it's Obama. I think what that does, I mean, I hope they handle this, whatever this is, they handle this in a way that, maybe takes him out of public life or anything like that. But I don't think we ever want to see um, a president of the United States indicted. It just it will. I mean, now that some of them have probably done some things, that need to be indicted for, um, but I think we don't want to. I don't think we want to go there yet. There's some institutions. Okay, there's some institutions in this country that we don't need to tarnish. Okay, even though I understand that he is he's a human being like everybody else is. Um, you know everybody has got issues. Okay, but some things are bigger than the individual. Okay, like when they kept going after Trump, that kind of irked me and said, listen, I mean, if you got to work that hard to get somebody, maybe you should leave them alone. Okay, I realize that Trump and you know, uh, I uh-oh. Let me see who this is before I get on to any main subject. Good morning. I'm doing fine. Yeah, yeah. Mhm. Mm. Yeah, it is dangerous. Yeah, yeah. Well, now they did go wait a minute, wait a minute. They did go after that man, I mean, Trump, big time. They did the same thing to him, worse than to him. I mean, let's be real here. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on 1 second. I gotta put you on this thing for right. People want to hear you. I forgot to put because they need to hear your your diatribe here. Okay, let me make sure I get this thing on here. Thank you, Greg. Yeah, because I want them to hear you because you making a little bit of sense today. So let me a little bit of sense today. Let's see. Share this screen right here. Okay, goes right there. Okay, and okay, there we go. There. Okay, there we go. I think people can hear you now. Now, start over.
Okay.
because nobody heard.
Okay, first thing I want to say is great show, Kevin. I advise your listeners to call a friend, tell a friend that you're on every time at this time, day and hour, because it's a great show. We miss you. We hope to be able to, to join you every morning. But I want to say that, it is ridiculous after 8 years, they're coming up with something against Obama, where in his first term, Mitch McConnell's task, he said, was to make sure Obama was a one-term president. You better believe they did everything they possibly could to make that happen. Now, if they really had something to be concerned about or whatever the case is, trust me, they would have brought that up in his first 2 administrations. Everything from his birth certificate to this and that and all the other stuff, man, it just don't make any sense. And, President Trump is the artist of distraction. Every time something comes up about him, he tries to throw a little meat up against the wall to say, hey, look that way. And now with all those pictures of him and Epstein, it's just, it's just weird that, people want to, he wants to try to say, I knew. At first he tried to say he never knew Epstein until those pictures came out. All of a sudden he's trying to say, well, there's nothing to see here. The Democrats, Joe Biden, they put this together about Epstein. Well, Epstein was arrested during his administration. And this stuff first came out in 2005 during the Bush administration. So the Democrats didn't have anything to do with it. They didn't even push the issue. In fact, the Republicans, Bongino and all the Republican commentators was trying to push this because they knew, or they felt as though Bill Clinton was implicated. So they was eager for all this information to come out. But then when, Trump, the thing is about Trump, he may even be innocent, but it's always the cover up about him. He's always trying to cover things up, which makes him look guilty. So people, the people are not buying this stuff this go around. And I find it quite strange. And it's dangerous, Kevin. He's going against all his political enemies, from Comey to the CIA directors, anybody that had anything to do with his investigation against him and this insurrection. Also, he fired Comey's daughter, who had nothing to do with anything other than investigating the insurrection. So now you want to go against judges. He's trying to impeach a federal judge who's appointed for life. He's trying to impeach his federal trade CEO, secretary of federal.
Let's listen. I hear what you're saying, but the Democrats started this going after president thing. I mean, they did. They gave that man. I have never seen a president, like him or not, that was so disrespectful in the White House. For what they did to him. Now, I would hope he be a better man and let it go, whatever it is, don't some person agree. But now listen, they impeached the guy twice. They told lies on him that he was in Russia, sleeping in a bed with Russian women peeing on him. I mean,
Kevin, the reason, let me tell you the 2 impeachments. The first one was because he tried to shake down Ukraine by saying, I need you to get some information against Joe Biden and make sure it happens ASAP. When Ukraine didn't follow suit, he said, well, I'm going to keep this money from coming to you unless you play ball with me. And when the former president went over there, Biden, and told the attorney general of that place that if you don't cut out this investigation, we're going to keep the money. We're going to give you. If you don't cut out this
investigation.
No, Kevin, no. What had happened was that you had a you had a Russian-friendly person that was there that was trying to undermine the current government of Ukraine in order to give Ukraine, make Ukraine more Russian-friendly.
Wait a minute.
That's the deal.
Biden got on television and said that.
And he wasn't the president at the time.
But he was the vice president.
Biden was not the president at the time.
Okay, so that makes a difference.
Kevin.
That makes a difference?
Kevin.
He was the vice president of the United States. So I'm just saying. So, but listen, he don't know what room he is in right now, so we ain't gonna worry about him. I'm against going after.
Kevin, trust me.
Yeah.
there was a Republican Congress. If there was anything funny, trust me, they would have went after it.
No, they would.
They was going after
No, they wouldn't. And the reason,
now the second,
wait. Let's
Kevin,
tell the truth. No,
the
they wouldn't,
second,
because he was an old man, and
Kevin,
even the
not during
FBI.
the time he was vice president. No, this was during the time he was vice president. We're still on that track, right?
Okay, but even the FBI said he was told to charge.
That was the second term
Okay,
when they talked about these
right.
files.
That's right. That's the time he got caught. But other than that, you know.
Now, Kevin, the second time they impeached Trump was when he led an insurrection against his own country.
There's never been any. Wait. There was never been a charge of insurrection against Trump.
Kevin, well, I'll put it this way.
Okay.
What he did wasn't right, and they impeached him.
And they did a lot of things to him. And they did a lot of things to him that were not right.
Old man, an old soldier, Kevin, an old Vietnam soldier / World War II soldier told me, he said, Marty, he said, wherever you end up in life, you can bet your bottom dollar you had something to do with it. Trump brings this stuff on himself and then wants to play the victim.
Well, I will say one thing, but let's just say one thing about Trump. Is not the greatest leader in the world by definition, but he still deserved the same respect as any other president has ever gotten, and they did not give him that respect. His fault, maybe. His fault, maybe, but they did not.
Kevin, you remember that lingo in the military? That's a no-go.
Yeah.
And that's a no-go, Kevin. He's the commander-in-chief.
Yes.
And everything. We don't get that kind of break being soldiers, Kevin. You know, when
wait a minute. A soldier's not a civilian. Presidents are.
Kevin, but this man is commander-in-chief of the soldiers.
That don't make him perfect. That don't make him perfect. He is still a civilian.
He should have something. It doesn't excuse him from having integrity. He should have some type of integrity.
Well, I think there's a wait. I think there's a time in our lives.
Everybody's expected to have some level of integrity and dignity, right?
But I think there are times in our lives, every last one of us has had to fight with that situation. Some of us have.
Kevin, this man is.
Why y'all really don't like the man? Y'all just don't like him.
No, I'm saying sooner or later he should get it. The man almost 80 years old. He should be mentoring his grandchildren. And so you're trying to justify the reason why you don't know right.
I'm just saying that if we're gonna, and here's my problem: if we're gonna have a standard, then have that standard for everybody. Biden, Trump, Kevin, Obama have that same standard for everyone.
Kevin, I wholeheartedly agree about that. But you remember they impeached President Clinton for lying about sex with a porn. I mean, with his intern.
Okay. And he did it. And what he did was during his term in office. As a matter of fact, what he did was in the office.
Okay, but Kevin, so what Trump did was during his term in office when he led the insurrection.
Okay, again, show me a legal document that has ever charged him or anybody else with insurrection.
Okay, Kevin. Okay, let me put it this way. What he did on January the 6th, 2021, pales in comparison to having an intern in your office. This man was trying to overturn a free and fair election, trying to go against the Constitution, injuring and in some cases involved in abusing officers.
And we can't. Guess what? That's a done deal. It's over. We way beyond that. The man's been reelected. So if what you guys say is true, then we want to insurrect.
Well, put it this way. Obama's been out of office a lot longer than Trump has been in office, and it should be a done deal if there's anything out there. They're not letting it go.
And again, I don't want them going after any former president unless he killed somebody.
Especially, Kevin,
I don't want them to do that to anybody. So,
Kevin, I can see if it was credible. Yeah. But the sad part about this president, you can't trust him. Kevin, trust me this, and you got a son that's in the military, and I'm retired military right now. But you might be the exception. But I don't know anybody, if Trump was to send you to war tomorrow, I don't know anybody that would kind of second guess and say, well, I mean, what's really going on? What's the bottom line? Is it a dollar amount?
Right. And that's with every war we've ever had. With every war we've ever had.
With this guy, Kevin, with this guy, you can't trust him because it's always about the bottom dollar. He negotiated as president with Elon Musk for over $250 million. And Elon Musk did a whole lot of damage. and getting rid of all these federal workers.
He need to get rid of some of
these
them.
programs.
He need to get rid of some of them. As a matter of fact, Clinton got rid of them. Obama got rid of government employees.
Kevin, you know what?
They had too many.
Kevin, you're right. Kevin, you said something. Clinton and Obama. You never had an unelected official with that kind of power going around striking people.
Yeah, they did. Every administration gets rid of federal employees.
Kevin, most of those individuals with that type of power went through Congress to get approval to be in those positions.
I believe that the executive branch. I believe that the executive branch has the power of
Kevin.
Hey, I got to run, man.
Kevin,
I love you. But
I love
you.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Good morning, Kevin. How you doing?
Pretty good,
sir?
I think.
Just to digress, why was Clinton impeached?
For lying?
Because he got a BJ?
Yeah.
No, he committed perjury under oath, sworn testimony, and that is the reason. Had nothing to do with him being in the oral office. It's because he committed federal perjury.
Right. It was a legal issue.
And that's very clear cut.
Yeah, that was a legal issue.
And so, that is about as clear cut and dry as it could be.
Mm-hmm.
So let's put that little thing there to rest.
Yeah.
This past election, what was the Democrats' talking points heading up to the election? Threat to democracy.
They had so many.
Democracy will die.
Which we don't have a democracy, so I don't know why we keep using that
word. Republic.
Yeah, I don't know why they keep because most of even the people in the White House in Washington D.C. don't realize we're not a democracy. Because if we were, Trump could have stayed in office forever.
Correct.
So we're not.
So let's just talk about the allegations that Tulsi Gabbard brought forward and has turned over to the DOJ. Mm-hmm. What we know based on the emails that was circulated with Obama, the director of the CIA, the director of the FBI, his national security advisor, Susan Rice. They knew, based on the emails, that the Steele dossier was fabricated by the Clinton campaign. Clearly, all the emails see that was paid by the Clinton campaign. That's the first thing.
Mm.
So they realized it was a political campaign event, misinformation.
Yeah.
And everything heading up to the election, they pushed that narrative.
Yeah.
After Trump won the election, Obama sits down with the director of the CIA, the director of the FBI, Susan Rice, his national security advisor, and they're going through the recapitulation of the CIA, saying Russia did not affect the election. They might have tried, but it had no effect whatsoever. There was no collusion between the Trump campaign and the Russian government.
Well, again,
it's there in front of them.
Yeah.
And then 1 week later, they changed the narrative. In light of all the information that Obama's administration comes up with, we're now going to say X, Y, and Z, which directly contradicts all the information that the Obama administration, his different directors came up with. And out of that, you had Russiagate, you had a special investigation, you had a special prosecutor, because they said, well, we're going to try and keep Trump from being elected. That failed. So then when he is elected, okay, how can we hamstring his administration? Think about this. Back when Bush beat Al Gore and W. Bush was coming in, you know what they did? Oh, they took all the W's off the keyboard. The keyboard.
I know.
Just to mess with him. Do you remember that?
Yeah, they did do that.
Okay. Which was kind of childish, but okay, big deal. But now we have a sitting president, allegedly, and I'm going to say allegedly, sat down with all the directors under his control and say, we are going to do X, Y, and Z to stop the democratically elect president-elect from being the president.
Again,
We're
I've
going to
never
cut him
seen
off at the
right,
knees.
I've never seen any president since I've been knowing about politics ever treated the way they treated that man. Yeah, he's a bull in a China cabinet in a China shop. He's bombastic. He is somewhat
But he
narcissistic.
won the election.
But he won the election. Exactly.
He won
He
the
won. Yeah,
election.
he won.
And so here's the deal. Obviously, okay, Tulsi Gabbard turned it over to the DOJ, and there will be a political decision by the Trump administration. Will he allow, say, Pam Bondi? You can turn it over to a criminal investigator. You can try and go to a grand jury and try to seek an indictment.
I think
based on this
I think
information.
we let sleeping dogs lie. I just think that will
Well,
not
but
do this country any good whatsoever. Going after a guy who served 2 terms because he got elected twice. Also, we just should leave it alone. Sometimes you got to be the bigger man. Just let it
but
go.
what does that say about our democracy if a sitting president can do that to a democratically elected
Well, again,
next president?
again, they wanted to blame Kennedy. They said Kennedy was working for the Pope. I mean, so
I haven't heard that,
yeah, you don't
but
get
here,
out of
from what it looks
yeah,
like,
but you don't get out of being
and
criticized because you're president. I mean, you get
and your last caller just said, well, they had sat on this information. No, they didn't. They did not have access to this information. You had the deep state players. All of the cronies of Comey were still in power. All the cronies of Brennan were still in power.
Mhm.
And only under this new administration, his second term, by getting rid of the deep state, have they been able to investigate. Now, again, is it? Ain't it? Don't know. This
Well,
information will be reviewed
let me
and turned
I'll
over
ask you.
to.
Wait a minute. I'll ask you the question. Will this bring us any closer together as a nation if we keep going down these rabbit holes about doing this thing? One president gets out, he goes after another president. Hell, after a while, nobody wants to run for presidency.
Well, Kevin, here's what I would say, and I'll use the exact words of the Democrats for the past 4 years. No one is above the law.
Well, we know that's not true.
No
There are a
one.
lot of people with a lot of money that don't.
And so
We know that's not true.
if,
Mm.
if evidence can be presented to a grand jury, which leads to an indictment of Obama and Brennan and Comey and Susan Wright and a myriad of other players within the deep state. And let's be honest with you, they're going to go personnel hot and heavy against Brennan. They're going to go against Comey. They're going to go against Susan Wright because, look, the president Obama can always say, I never said this. I was never in this meeting. But they had emails. They had 109 pages of evidence that showed this meeting took place.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you do, as you know, with any other criminal enterprise,
Mm-hmm.
you put the screws to the lower folks. And you're going to say, you know what? You're going to spend the rest of your life in jail unless you tell the truth.
And again,
And so
my thing,
and then they can either squeal on Obama. They might not get an indictment. But here's the wonderful thing about it. Just like the Democrats, when they wanted to use lawfare against Trump, they went to the bluest of the blue states.
Yeah.
To find the bluest of the blue state attorney generals to bring charges.
Yeah.
Well, now Pam Bondi can go to the most conservative red states, maybe Iowa, maybe Idaho, maybe Montana, and do the same thing to the administration.
But here's the question.
Payback's a bitch.
And it is, but we ought not be in the payback business. We ought not be.
No, we should hold our elected officials that are trying to overturn the votes of 75 million people, which is what he got.
And again,
in 2016.
I hear you, but the outcome of anything like this will not be good for this nation. I think
No, actually, I think it would. Because you know what happens when you turn the lights on? The roaches.
And that may be so.
They run.
But sometimes
and so
you have to let bygones be
it's time to hold people accountable.
Yeah. Were you at church yesterday?
And what's funny?
Were you at church yesterday?
Yeah, I was. I was up in the balcony with my family. I didn't
Oh,
see you though.
I was there. Yeah, y'all be hiding out upstairs. Okay.
I always sit in the balcony because I'm right there in front of the speakers. And with me wearing hearing aids, it's easiest for me to hear up in the balcony because I have a speaker pointed right at my
I thought
face.
maybe you could go to sleep quicker
Uh,
up there or something. I don't. Sure.
Yeah, Robert was preaching yesterday. He had a pretty good sermon on First Timothy, didn't he?
Yeah. I think I understood it. Yeah. I think I did. Yeah.
But again, listen, if you're guilty,
Mm-hmm.
let the grand jury play out.
Yeah. Well,
And if it's
again, though,
indicted, here's what I would say.
I'm against it. I just think let us. Right now, we're beginning to breathe again as a nation.
No, we're not.
Well,
They're
I
still
am.
something everywhere else.
Well, okay. Hey, appreciate it.
But I will say
Yeah.
this: if the previous administration, is indicted, I think the trial should be on TV. Let the government put the evidence out there.
Yeah.
Completely.
And
So
most
that way,
of us,
there's nobody saying, "Well, this person said this," and this person. If the government has the fact,
right?
put it out there and let the
And
American people.
you're not going to get beyond the inclination of people to say this is about race because he was the first black president. That takes us someplace else. That takes us someplace else.
But here's the deal:
it's not worth it.
Emails are printed on black and white paper with black type. Okay, so there's black and white on all the evidence. And again, let's just see where it plays out. But just because
I don't think we want to go through that right now. We got enough people. We got people to our north, south, east, and west would do us harm. We can spend a whole lot more time and money helping folks rather than going after one man. They went after him.
Question for you, Kevin. Think about this. In 1865, when Abraham was killed, assassinated, they hung those people on the gallows in 1865.
And I'm glad this ain't 1865.
And do you understand? They tried to assassinate his presidency from an operational standpoint, not a physical standpoint.
I hear you.
But they tried to kill the man politically. And then we had, because of the media, they tried to kill him just last year.
Wait a minute. Now, as a church God-fearing man, I'm going to ask you the same question. What would Jesus do?
I would say exactly
he
what
let it go.
The Apostle Paul said. Fear the government, because they do not hold the sword in vain. If you do right, you have nothing to fear.
And
so the Old Testament and the New Testament commanded the death penalty for certain offenses.
And again, though, I can only remember the woman that.
Get me wrong. I'm not saying Obama and them need to be killed.
I can only say the woman at the well showed us the example what we should go and sin no more. And so I'm thinking.
But we also, they were held accountable for their actions, were they not? Look at King David with Bathsheba. Look what happened to his house. Look what happened to his son. Look what happened to his
then what about Job?
So you can have forgiveness, but there's still repercussions for your sinful action.
All right. Hey, appreciate it. Again, and maybe, and I'm not a liberal at all, but I just think I think Trump should leave this alone, run the country. You have your people in office, the people that you want there. Obama will never be president of the United States again. That constitutionally, there's no way to get it done. This will be your last couple of years in the White House. 3 years in the White House. You know what? Let's just all get along. Okay, I mean, let's just all get along. It just how many times must we reverse and rewind the history? Because it's not going to come out for people the way they want it to. I'm just saying, let it go. He may obviously his greatest reward, Trump's greatest reward, was being reelected overwhelmingly. I must admit he didn't have a whole lot of competition, but the people said, "We want you," even though with all the charges, with all the shenanigans that went on about him, he still made it back in. And again, I say, and this one I said, he's only there but by the grace of God who wants him there. So all these other people can whine, and evidently God wanted Obama there too. So we we just gotta let it go. Just let it go, man. Let it go. We're not going to undo what has been done. Okay. Oh, your people don't what? Your people don't want peace in the world unless they are in control of this world. Well, a lot of people are control this world. And listen, if you think this doesn't bother me, there are documents that detail a treasonous conspiracy by officials at the highest levels of Obama White House to subvert the will of the American people and try to usurp the president. I don't have a problem with believing that. Nobody wanted the guy. He wasn't one. He was not one of them. He was not one. We took a private and made him commanding general of a country. Symbolically, we took somebody that had never had public office, bought people in public office, but he wasn't in public office itself. But and here's the problem. Here's the problem. Why did things get so bad that we wanted to put somebody in office? And I say we because I was one of them. Put somebody in office who had never been in office because we'd seen what the sophisticated, what the experienced politician had done to this country over the years. We've seen it. Okay. If nothing else, we never quite know what Trump's going to do. I kind of find that kind of interesting. We don't know what he's going to do. So if all these other guys, the Obamas, the people like that, the Obamas, all the big wigs, the Newt Gingriches, and all these, if they were so smart, how did we end up? Newt's been out a while though, but those people up there, if this country was so well together, then why did we end up putting a guy in the White House that had never been a dog catcher? Because we wanted to try something new, something different, because it wasn't working. I mean, we got men marrying men, women marrying women. Men think they can have babies who are actually women. We're trying to turn our boys into girls and our girls into boys. Now in America, a boy who acts like a boy, they want to put him on drugs. They want to call him ADHD or IDH, whatever it's called, for just being a boy. We've got colleges now that we had colleges recently that were this time last year would publicly display anti-Semitism, publicly display it by picking on Jewish people, like this is Nazi Germany. So listen, I think we got the right man in there at the moment. Leave the Obama thing alone, and let's get to running the country. Let's just get to running the country. I'm just not. And I'm just not. I don't want to. I don't. Who really wants to go through another fight? Okay, that takes all of our time up and all that stuff. Let it go, man. Let it go. There's something. Everybody will pay for what they did, one way or the other. One way or the other, everybody will pay, either in this life or the next. Everybody pays for what you do. So just let it go. We don't need to get Obama on anybody's trial. I hate it when they did it to Trump as president. It just irked me. But anyway, that's how we ended up with Biden. Okay, who really should never have been president of the United States at his age and at his mental capacity. Never should have been president. Now, we lucky that we didn't get taken over by another government with him in there. He didn't know where he was most of the time anyway. And it's not his fault. It's just that when you get old, you get older. That's all. I think Trump is showing a couple of signs of getting old too. So just worry about the country. Don't worry about the other junk. Because we can't undo what happened. Okay, we can't, and that's what I tell people sometimes around here. We're so tethered to the past until we can't get to the future. I ain't talking about now. We can't get to the future because we can't figure out now. So can we just leave that alone? Okay, I'm just saying. Okay. Anyway, so much for that. Let's see. Camilla says your people don't want peace in this world unless they are in control of the world. Okay, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. Propaganda time. No, we are the most divided country we've ever seen in a long time. But I'm hoping we're a little bit better off than we were. At least I'm hoping that anyway. Now, let's talk about something else this morning because I had a whole list of things I wanted to talk about this morning. And we're finna get to it right now. there's a Montgomery organization. All these Montgomery organizations, right? They came together for a community baby shower. Now, here's my thing. Women have been having babies since Eve. Okay, I believe Cain and Abel came out that way. And I guess because Mr. Adam, put in the work. So why do we need to do all this? Women, I mean, they know how to have babies. Really? I'm just saying. Okay, and some even believe that men can have babies. I mean, so we don't. We got better things to do than worry about having a community baby shower. Listen, you and your old man have a baby shower. Y'all the one made the baby. Leave us and your friends. We don't need. We don't need. Now we got to reteach women how to have babies. I don't think so. Anyway, enough of that. Now, here's a question, which was my question of the day yesterday. Does it seem to anybody but me that since the mayor's pronouncement that crime is going down 28% from last year, that we're actually having more crime now? Does it, am I the only person that I see that? That's my interpretation of the events of today. The crime, even over the weekend, last Friday, we got more people shot. I think we had one kill. So, and here is the question. Why is it that Montgomery has this when the surrounding cities around us, it's a rarity to hear about it in Prattville, in Millbrook, in Elmore County, in Wetumpka. I mean, it happens every once in a while. It does. And often, most of the time, those are folks from Montgomery going over there messing around. So what is the biggest difference between our surrounding cities that seem not to have the same problem of violence that we have? Now, somebody said, okay, I don't want to get him wrong, so let me make sure that I know how this goes. He says, what did he say? Let me see. I got to make sure I got to make sure I get this right, because I want to make sure that I don't get this wrong. So he said something last night about let me see. What did he say? Okay. Oh, here it goes right here. He says, I said, since the proclamation of lower crime was made, it actually seems to be going up. Maybe it's just my imagination running away from me, but that's the way I see it. And some other people said that it's because of smaller population percentage, and here's one I like: less urban demographics and culture. Okay, all right then. So basically, I asked the question: is urban a euphemism for black? Okay, black culture. What is it black culture? Is it a culture that our young folks have gravitated to? I'm telling you what, we need to ban rap music. We just need to ban it. I know people got freedom of speech, but some of these things, and then somebody said, well, the mayor can't do it by himself. And one thing should be done. One thing should be done is talk to Millbrook, Wetumpka, Prattville, and Slapout. Talk to them and see what they do. Well, what they do is they allow the police to do their job. I mean, that they allow the police to do their job. Sometimes I think they do their job a little too good, but you can't have both. You can't have people, policemen going around giving ice cream out and expect people to be scared of them. Finley had this thing where we went out and stopped people, gave them ice cream cones and gave them cookies and all that kind of stuff. I don't need to see the police doing that. We let the Salvation Army do that. Okay. Mr. Lee King says, I live in Millbrook and feel like the police presence is better there in general. Smaller population and large police. Montgomery will always be lawless as long as the guys have a mayor who doesn't want real change. I don't know if Stephen doesn't want change, but I will admit that I believe sometimes he is a little too stuck in the past, and we've had that conversation with him. I think he remembers what his parents went through down here, and I understand that. I totally understand that. Um, and those memories will be etched in his mind forever. He saw it. He lived here. His dad's from I think Joe Reed Senior is from Joe. His dad is from Greenville, I believe, or somewhere down in Greenville. And they went through. I mean, they went through some stuff, you know. And what has been etched in his mind is the way people of that age were treated. I understand that, but there must be a um, there must be a reconcilement between civility and order. There's got to be. If not, you can't. I know no matter. I mean, listen. Everybody's got a sob story. Well, I grew up without a daddy. So did I. Okay, and so did I. I don't go around shooting people, robbing people in their houses. I don't do that. I don't go on the street. I don't carry a big old gun in my hip pocket just in case somebody look at me wrong. Last week, somebody got shot in Montgomery because they stepped on somebody's shoes. Now that's not new. They've been that happened in clubs often. Okay, and so I suggested that listen, don't wear your best shoes to the club because somebody, if you dancing, somebody gonna step on you. But one guy got shot. Now he's not dead, but he got shot because he stepped on somebody's shoes. Where in the hell that kind of culture come from? I don't know, but it's been around a long time. Okay, wear your tennis shoes, okay, and don't wear your Jordan. Somebody step on your Jordan, you want to shoot them again. But so how do we get back to some sense? I mean, how do we get back to some sense? Something is wrong, um, you know, with us. Something is just wrong, and I don't know what it is, but something is wrong. We got a problem. And again, I think rap music is worse than marijuana. I think here's what we need to do. We need to ban rap music and legalize marijuana. Okay, that's what we need to do. Because if you do that, then we'll just be chilling, looking for something to eat. Okay, rap music make you want to go out. I mean, when you can't go down the street, when you're scared to go down the street, um, and without fear, somebody's gonna shoot at you. I mean, something's wrong in this city. So, what I want to. Okay, that's what you want to do with illegal immigrants. Give them ice cream. No, I do not. But you cannot tell people to come on in. Then once they get here, say, "Oh, now you got to go home." You can't open up the floodgates. Okay, it's like me leaving my front door open, having a sign on the door that says "Welcome," and then turn around and call the police because they're there. That's my problem with our immigration policy right now. I um, I have a solution for it. Okay, I don't know. I never had thought about this, but I have a solution. We close the gates permanently. You close the gates for at least 36 months. Nobody comes in. Let us figure out who's here trying to make it and who's not. We don't take it. I don't know if Congress needs to do that, but we just close the borders, totally close them. And maybe some of these people will take the opportunity to um, work in their own countries and demand their rights and their freedoms because all you have to do is run over here and it really irks me with that Mexican flag. And again, people have a right to be proud of their heritage, but if the heritage was all that good, then why not stay over there? I ain't mad at you. So evidently you came over here for a particular reason because the opportunities were what that presented themselves to you. But when you come over here and you disrespect our flag by raising another country's flag, yeah, I think you ought to be deported. I mean, that's the only thing I'm thinking. That's the only thing I'm thinking you should be deported for. Listen, we all got our differences. We all grew up in different places, but again, you can't tell these people to come here and then turn around. Yeah, I know they're here illegally, but we asked them here. We invited them here. We opened up the floodgates and said, "Come on in." And when the water starts coming, it's too late to stop it. Okay. And if we haven't learned that about what happened in Texas, same analogy. Once the water starts coming, there's very little bit you can do to stop it. It is the most powerful force on earth. And I'm telling you, to want freedom is probably the next powerful thing on this earth. So you can't stop them, but you say, "Come on in." Okay, and now we want to act like we're going to put everybody on a train or plane or whatever and send them to a country. I was reading a book yesterday. Guy been there 47 years. 47 years. And now we're going to send him back to his country. This is his country. This is where he grew up. He's got friends, raised kids. This is his country. Okay? So I don't know. I don't know. We do this thing all wrong. Yeah, I got you. Illegal. I know they're here illegally. Okay. So your boy was born on third base, and folks around here think he hit a triple. Well, I don't know about that, but we got a couple issues here and there, and that's for sure. But we can fix them. But we got to have some common sense approach and not going around to construction sites, uh, rounding people up as if they were all convicted murderers and put them in a wagon and say, now we're going to send you home. I just think that there's a better way to do that. Now, if you're going down the street and you get caught, you had a traffic accident, we inquire about your status here. If we think that you're not, and listen, one of the greatest giveaways, if you don't speak English, yeah, that's the greatest giveaway that you may not be from here. Uh, Listen, if you're gonna come across that border, okay, speak a little English. That way you may can get over. I'm just saying, speak a little English, and that way, because I'm tired of having to learn. I'm tired of having to learn Spanish. Although I must admit, I think most Americans are. Most Americans are jealous. We are. We are jealous people. We're jealous that a lot of countries can speak more than one language except us. Okay. Now, and again, the reason why we there because there's nobody nobody's leaving this country going to another country want to live except Ellen DeGeneres and a couple of the people with money. But if they was broke, they wouldn't be over there either. Okay. I mean, I think she went to France. Okay. Until one day the government takes over all their money and something tell them now get out of here. So and it probably could happen. Anyway, good morning. It is 8:18 in the morning right here in I'm going to say right here on News Radio, but it's not. It's Decisions Radio. Me. Anybody hear about this one kid, 25 years old, is charged with first-degree kidnapping and first-degree assault? According to the Montgomery County Sheriff Department deputies, they were called. Was it last week to the 1200 block of West South Boulevard on last Monday? At the scene, authorities found a woman suffering from serious injuries, and she was taken to the hospital for treatment. Court documents allege that Robinson held the victim while another man doused her and lit her on fire. Robinson is further accused of providing another guy with tools to be used to beat and burn the victim. I mean, what kind of mind? What kind of mind? 25 years old. That's rap music. Okay, that's rap music. We again make rap music illegal and let everybody smoke marijuana. Okay, I'd rather have them that. And I think, and I know, but we need something going wrong. The other day, another man was critically injured in early morning Montgomery shooting. On the 3200, just a couple of days ago, 3200 block of Meadow Lane, which is somewhere over there off of a Woodley Road, someplace. At the scene, responders found a man suffering from life-threatening gunshot wounds, and he was taken to a nearby hospital for treatment. And here's another one the other day. Man, I mean, it just goes on and on and on. 2 shot at Montgomery gas station this past Saturday night. An investigation is underway after a shooting at Montgomery gas station. The Montgomery Police Department said officers responded to area hospitals on the report of 2 men being shot. A preliminary investigation found that both of them were shot in the 5600 block of Atlanta Highway. Okay. So, I mean, and one of them suffered, both men suffered, suffering from non-life-threatening injury. So, is it just my imagination? I mean, just my imagination that it seems to be getting worse rather than better? Hey, Mayor, next time the supposed crime stats go down, don't tell anybody. Okay, don't tell anybody about it. Just let it keep going down, because there are people in this city who really don't want the crime to go down. So keep that to ourselves, and who knows? Maybe, Montgomery will be safer again. Okay. Now I don't know if anything happened yesterday morning. I haven't seen that, but now. And here's one. And this is a good story from. This is a good one. Oh, I talked to Z yesterday. You know what he asked me? He said, "I got a 7-mile rucksack march." He said, "You got?" He said, "You got any advice for me?" I said, "Sure. I got some advice for you. I mean, yeah, I got you advice. Walk slow. Okay. Don't try to be the first one at the finish line. Okay, because you're gonna be the first one to stop. Walk slow. Guard your steps. Okay, drink some water, and if you got to take a leak on the way, just let it all hang out. And keep walking. Okay, I'm just saying. So anyway, we talked to him yesterday. He's getting through it though. He's getting through. His biggest complaint is that he's got to deal with teenagers. I said, but you're a teenager. I know, but I'm not like these teenagers. Well, and that he isn't. He's a much more mature young man. But anyway, so he's doing the ruck march. I'm keeping y'all abreast of what's going on. He's doing a ruck march. So, those things are heavy. I remember those days. But anyway, that's only what advice would you give him? You got to do a 7-mile rucksack march. I don't know what to tell him. Listen, make sure your socks are clean or something like that. Because I don't remember walking with that heavy bag. I remember walking with a heavy bag, but just think he's taller than I am, so it was really tough on me. You got his steps are longer. But anyway, so much for that. Where were Democrats doing? What did it say? Were the Democrats? Of course, of course, yeah, of course they were. I mean, most poor folks in this state. Well, mostly all black folks vote Democrat. Now, that don't make you a Democrat, but you can vote Democrat. And that's what the Republicans and what the Democrats need to understand. Just because you vote for them, don't make you want it. Yo.
Hey,
Yeah.
Kevin, my advice to him is to carry an extra pair of socks if they get sweaty or wet when you stop, because occasionally you'll stop and take a break. Put on those dry pair of socks. Doesn't hurt to put powder. We used to carry a little powder that they issued us and everything. But you want to protect your feet, because back in the day we used to be called foot soldiers. So you can't go if your feet can't. So change your socks on the regular. Carry extra pair of socks.
Yeah.
And stay hydrated.
I told them, they give them, they give these young troopers these bags, things you put on your back with water in them. I mean, what's up with the canteen? We don't have that no more.
Yeah, that's the new Army. And that's better. It's a new Army. It's better. But you remember back in our day, we used to wear the steel pots, man. So that was hard on your neck too. Because you had a pot inside the helmet. So a lot of us left out of there. Yeah, a lot of us left out of there with neck and back problems. My C2 through C6 is messed up today.
You can do a lot of things with that steel pot. You can cook in it, do your business in it if you had to, and
man,
so there are a lot of things that steel pot came in handy with.
I boiled water. I shaved. Didn't shave using shaving cream because you didn't want them to know. Your enemies know where you were, but you used hot water, and you used that type of soap that didn't have an odor. And you shaved and you kept going.
I used mine for a porta toilet one time.
Oh wow! Yeah, well, you're a special kind of dude then. Hey, but that's what that's what your entrenching tools are for. You go out there and you dig a hole and you bury it.
But it was dark out there, and I didn't know where I was, and I wasn't letting nothing grab up me and catch it, brother. I
hear you.
I did boil the hot water and clean it up, so we good. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to go too far from the CP either, which to those civilians, that's the company area. I didn't want to go too far from there either, man, because you didn't know what was out there. But he's going to do fine. It's a new Army, so it's much kinder to your extremities than it was for us. But I would advise him to carry several pairs of socks because your foot gonna get sweaty. Change them if you have powder.
Although the boots
powder
they
on
wear now, a lot different than the jump boots and anything we wore. We did PT, and we did
Most
PT
definitely.
in boots. This tennis shoe thing is a new
Oh
phenomenon
yeah,
in the last 20, 30 years. But they,
man, you got that doggone right. And I kept mine as a souvenir. I have it in a tub in my in my attic and also in my garage. That stuff, man, because it's when I retired, they were demonstrating your ACUs.
mm,
Those I retired in 2005. Those ACUs came out in 2007. Where it changed 2 or 3 times
yeah,
since.
yeah.
So, like you said, the boots are different, the uniforms are different, and all, and so it's just a new
Yeah,
military
my only
altogether.
problem is that they don't make people shine their boots anymore, and you could tell a lot about a man with shine boots. It just looks
Most
good,
definitely.
and they look kind of ragged now. I mean, but hey,
Yeah,
that's the new army.
and you learned a lot from shining your boots and shining your
Yeah,
brass.
you need to be to work on time. That's what.
Exactly. And you know what,
Mm.
Kevin, to this day I still shine my shoes, man. When you were putting on your class
Yeah. Oh
A's
yeah.
or
Oh
class
yeah.
B's or C's, I still shine my shoes because we had to, those
I
those
like the
long
new
orders that we
uniform though.
wore.
I like the new uniform. The World War
Yeah, I do too.
World War II unit. I like that. I'm had to go down to Fort Benning and buy me one so for Veterans Day I can wear one just so I see what I look like.
Yeah. Well, Kevin, occasionally I go down there and buy a new PT uniform, man. I still got the old one, but I like wearing the black and
Yeah. Oh
gold,
yeah. Yeah. I got that.
and all.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I go down there and it just feels good to be able to go into an active post.
Yeah. It does.
We don't call it a base in the Army, we call it a
Yeah.
post.
Post. Yeah.
But go to an active post, and you do that. But yeah, one of the best decisions I could have made was joining the military, and I'm proud of Z because I know what it's going to do for him.
Mm.
And he's already a disciplined kid,
Yeah.
so he's not going to have any issues or any problems.
No, nothing big anyway.
He's
Nothing big anyway. So I'm
because, well, you raise them to follow instructions at home. Individuals will tell me, well, the problem with these kids today out in the communities, they need to join the military. No, they don't, because they'll get you killed.
Yeah.
Because they can't take orders.
Right.
They're not following.
Exactly. If you
Yeah,
can't
they're not following instructions.
right, if you can't follow instructions at home, then there's no way
Yeah.
you're gonna follow telling you, hey, take that dirt hill right there and put that hill across the street.
Yeah. He'll get his entire squad or platoon killed, man. I wouldn't want that
No, I
person.
wouldn't want that.
And I was a platoon sergeant. Before I became a military police instructor. I was in a combat support. There's no way in the world I would allow an enlisted person to and when I say it, I'm talking about your E1s, B2s,
Mhm.
E3s, and 4s to tell me what they wasn't going to do.
Yeah, we didn't play that. No, we didn't.
But I would have been in the ASS. Because you're going to get us.
Yeah,
killed.
we
So the thing is that with today's generation, there's no way in the world unless they're kids like Z, and my sons or what have you.
Yeah.
Those, but other than that, no way.
Yeah.
No way.
Hey, appreciate it. If you want to give us a call, you can do that. You just called, that's the number 521-2963, whatever on your mind. We appreciate you. I need a little company in the mornings here since I'm getting up kind of early. Again, now here's something that I think is crazy. The governor was in the paper the other day, right? She was in the paper the other day. She was showing us a dog that Aaliyah is going to use now. I guess he's going to be a safety dog, a certified service dog that also serves as an official safety dog for the Alabama Association of General Contractors, AJ, per Governor Ivey's office. He took over the role from Millie, who served the first work zone safety K9 to be sworn in by Ivey. Now, here's my problem with this dog thing. Okay, I think we're taking this dog thing a little too far. Okay. Because this dog, she's calling him a officer. Okay. We're going to give a dog the title of officer. Okay. A dog. And if you accidentally hit the dog or something like that, it's like you hitting a human being. You shouldn't do it, but I'm just saying, if you did. And the dog's name is Vaquito. I think we go a little too far, Mr. Governor. I think, a dog is not a police officer. As a matter of fact, in some country, he's lunch. I'm just telling you, he's lunch. Okay, I'm just. Why do we give all these designations to dogs? Okay, which brings me to another question. A couple of years ago, there was a young man named Joseph Pettaway who was attacked by a police dog. Um, he was in an apartment. Somebody evidently didn't know he was there, whatever the case may be. So the policeman put a police dog on him. Okay, the police dog bit him in between his legs, and they sort of, I think he bled out because of the artery by which this dog had broken, had bit through. Um, I'm still angry about that one. A police dog should not have the ability to penetrate human skin. Um, I don't know what you can do about it. Put something on his mouth so he can't, because all you want the dog to do is identify where the person is. Okay. Okay. Because if that person has a gun or something like that, he's going to shoot the dog anyway. But to identify where this young man was, and he ends up dead because of a police dog. Now, the family did sue the police officer, the handler, but the city of Montgomery came out for the time being unscathed because the police department and it reminds me of the Whitehurst case all over again. The police department works for the city of Montgomery. It's the city of Montgomery Police Department. So we held them blameless, but it is their employee, the policeman, who used that dog to go in after that man. Okay. I don't think he would danger or anything like that. But what say you? You know, dogs should not be allowed to chew into human beings. That is just crazy to me. They need to put a brace on their mouth or something, uh, so they cannot bite into your skin. I ain't got no problem with them holding on to you, holding on to your clothes, make sure you can't go no place and stuff like that. But to allow a dog the ability to bite a citizen, you know, to me that is tantamount to inhumane treatment. Okay, and we live in a place in Alabama where you can have two chickens fighting and somebody's going to jail because they got two chickens fighting. Okay, so let me get this right. The dog can bite you till you are dead, but we don't want to let two chickens fight without somebody going to jail. Really? Chickens? Listen, I think if you ask the chicken would say, "Well, I'd rather fight than go in a frying pan." I think if somebody should ask the chicken if they are upset about fighting each other. I wouldn't be. We good. So we got it mixed up. And then another thing, football players. Football players knock the heebie-jeebies out of one another going up and down the field. They knock the heebie-jeebies out of one another, and we want to put people in jail because they got two chickens fighting. Listen, if the chicken was that smart, he wouldn't be fighting another chicken anyway. Okay, but I think it's called cockfighting. So we actually want to put people in jail for two chickens fighting, but we watch human beings in a ring knock the hell out of one another every boxing tournament. We watch Alabama and Auburn, Auburn and Alabama, Texas, Oklahoma, all these Notre Dame, all these people get on the football field and knock hell out of one another for our entertainment. But the Mexicans say, "Hey, our entertainment is the chickens, and we want to put them in jail." We are duplicitous. We use a logic that amazes me. Okay, but again, getting back to the dog. Is there anybody out there that thinks that I'm wrong about this? That we ought not let police dogs, okay, bite into the skin, even if he is a crook. they still have a right to due process, and you shouldn't die at the hands of a dog. Okay, so I'm just saying, to me, there's just something wrong with that. I mean, I would think that you use dog to hunt for live people, to sniff out drugs and things of that nature, but not to bite another human being. I just think there's a problem with that, and I imagine the police going to totally disagree with me. And so what? I just don't think it's right. And that man is dead today because of a police dog. And they did sue the officer. I think they won that one, but the city was held blameless. Well, that policeman would not have had that dog out there had he not worked for the city. And so I still don't get that one. Because they are now going to what do you call that when they ask for a rehearing or whatever, appeal this thing with the dogs and Mr. Petaway, that dog that took that man's life. I'm just, it just irks me. But you shouldn't be able to use a dog with his bare teeth to. I'm pretty sure we can come up with something. I'm pretty sure we can come up with some apparatus that will allow them to take hold of you without biting into your skin. Okay, I'm just, they should teach the dog to grab clothing, grab anything that's loose or anything like that, but not to bite into your skin. And I got bit by a dog once, and I'm telling you what, it didn't feel fine at all. It hurt, as a matter of fact. But that's just me. Anyway, moving on to other things. Because see, we don't in America, we have this thing where we don't worry about nothing until it happens to us. Okay. A couple months ago, 60 people were charged after a weekend cockfighting ring bust in Blount County. And they said only 5 were U.S. citizens. Doesn't make any difference. The chicken wasn't a citizen at all. So is that I mean, we put people in jail for having chickens fight, but we don't put people in jail for having humans fight. Okay, all right then. And so I'm just trying to figure out the logic behind that. I mean, the logic behind chicken are human beings, and we pay to go see football games. We pay to see people box, to knock the EBGB hell out of each other. We pay for that kind of thing, but we get mad. We get mad when they have chickens fight. Listen, here's what we ought to do. Okay, if you win the fight, Mr. Chicken, you don't have to worry about going to a pot. We'll put you on the chicken retirement farm. Okay, but if you lose, well, I mean, you're gonna be a Kentucky Fried Chicken. Okay, something like that. So give them a choice. Give them a choice. Okay, that's all I'm saying. The numbers here, of course. What is our numbers here again? 521-2963. So a lot of things going on in the city of Montgomery. The chicken wasn't legal. The chicken doesn't have any citizenship. Come on, man. The chicken. He I mean, if that were the case, then I mean, if that were the case, then a lot of chickens right now ought to be getting due process and be taking us to court for keep killing them and eating them. I'm just saying, we got some strange ways in America. I mean, we put people in jail for having chickens fight. But we don't want to. We don't want the chickens fighting, but if Alabama and Auburn get together, Notre Dame and Purdue or Southern Cal get together, we can watch them fight. And there is a possibility that somebody could die. It's rare, but it is possible somebody could die and certainly get hurt on a football field. But since we like football, we say, okay, all right, we're going to accept this. But we actually putting human beings in jail because they got a chicken fighting. So we come out better just taking the chicken and frying them. Okay? Just put them in some hot grease. And I mean, I feel sorry for them sometimes. I do. I feel sorry for the chicken sometimes, but not too often. But anyway, I got to take a break here and a pause for the calls. But got to go me a glass of milk. So I'll be back. I got to take a break for the time being, and y'all can come back and tell me. And so have we figured out, before I go, what the difference is between all these other cities around us? that don't have the violence that we do. It's got to be more to it than our population is bigger. Okay, it's got to be more to it than that. There's more. There's a cultural issue here. So I'm calling on the Alabama legislature to ban rap music. Okay, just ban rap music, and yeah, we need to do that. We don't need it. We don't need to hear, and we certainly don't need to hear it coming out of your car. I'm just saying we might want to. Yeah, we might want to. We might want to do something about this. Anyway, got to take a break. We'll be back. Got to get my morning glass of milk. So y'all hang loose, and I shall return uno momento. Okay. I put a challenge out there. You see that right there? You can call me if you think you're smarter than I am. Okay. 'Cause I like some intellectual ammunition every once in a while to argue with somebody. Most of the time, it's an unfair fight when we try to compare, brains. Now the mayor did tell me one time that there are big brains and there are small brains, and and he didn't have any problem telling me which one he thought I had. so I had to do some brain exercise to make my brain a little bit smarter. But I appreciate him. I appreciate him telling me that. Okay, it mean I needed to go do some more work. Okay. 521-2963 is the number here if you want to get something off your mind. Come on now, y'all need to participate. I'm only going to do it like an hour a day from now on. No, I'm trying to keep with the 2-hour thing here. Got some folks coming on. I got some guests coming this week sometime. Don't exactly know which day it is, but we're going to do some virtual studio interviews with people being from home in bed, whatever they are. And we're going to talk to some of them folks out there, okay? Because that's how we roll around here, okay? So I'm just saying. So the numbers, again, here are 521-2963 is the number here. So if you want to give us a call, we'd love to talk to you, okay? So there's the number. If you think you're smarter than I am, feel free to call so I can, tell you that you're probably not. But that's okay. I can live with that. That's good. Yeah, I'll just make sure. What else is going on anyway? It is it's 8:46 in the morning already. Where does the time go? Where does it go? It goes someplace though. It goes someplace. Time, the only thing like water, you cannot stop. Okay, no matter how hard you try, the time keeps rolling on. Okay, and we don't have too much. We don't have too much of this time, but we need to, do a little bit better job in what we do with our time. Okay, I'm just saying. Man, a lot of things going on in the news right now. Football is coming up pretty soon. We're gonna talk about some football stuff here too. Of course, I'm from South Bend, Indiana, and of course, I mean, we're probably one of the best colleges in the world, as a matter of fact. Yeah. And again, just to recap over some things, we don't need both these presidents, former president, fighting each other again. We have we've done enough of that already. We've done, I think, more harm than we've done good, trying to fix what we cannot fix. Okay, the human being. Okay. Also, what's going on in Israel right now? At least 73 people seeking aid in Gaza killed by Israeli gunfire on Sunday. I'll take everything with a grain of salt when it comes to that part of the world, because anyway, CNN's telling it, so we don't know if that's true or not. But it is getting tough out here right now. And this thing where we sending people back to their quote unquote homes and countries, that just gets me in the wrong way. I just don't like the way we're doing this. I just don't like it. I mean, we assume that people are here illegally. And something about that just doesn't sit with me. It might sit with you, but it certainly doesn't sit with me. Also, now, just so we know that there's crime going all over the place in America right now. In Alabama, one person is dead and another is under arrest after a deadly weekend home invasion in Alexander City. The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency has confirmed that Aaliyah thing. Can we call him the state trooper again? Okay, this Aaliyah thing. I mean, really? Okay. Yeah, we know. I don't want to hear that part. One person is dead, and another's under arrest after a deadly weekend home invasion in Alexander City. Aaliyah said special agents with Aaliyah State Bureau of Investigation have opened a homicide investigation and request by the Alex City Police Department. According to Aaliyah agents, responded to around 11:15 a.m. Saturday in the 4,000 block of Washington Street in Alexander City. There were first responders found the victims at home invasion robbery, since identified as Toya Gopper, 32, of Alexander City, was pronounced dead at the scene. And of course, It's a white guy they got on. And not that color matters, but it's nice to know that they do their, we ain't the only people to go around breaking in people's houses and stuff like that. Okay. Anyway, that's a shame. Mm-mm. Well, at least we're doing it all over America. We're not just doing it here in Montgomery. So that's a good thing. Also, in Opelika, not too far from here, a man is being treated at Georgia Hospital after a shooting in Opelika gas station. We got this thing about gas stations, so okay. Alabama Department of Mental Health celebrates 3 years of a 988 hotline, so we appreciate that. So it's 911 if you're crazy, you can call 988. Now my problem is that, but if you are nuts, why would you call them? I mean, because people who are really nuts don't know they're nuts. They don't know they're going off the deep end, but they are. I'm just asking the question. So, I mean, would they have a cell phone if they got if they're nuts? Would they really have a cell phone? Probably not. But so much for that. Also, another woman was killed in Marengo County crash. Some Montgomery organizations came together for a community baby shower. I don't know, like I guess we need to, I don't know, help women have babies again. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Again, yesterday, and again, I was wondering, man critically injured in Sunday morning shooting. That's yesterday morning. Montgomery police are investigating a shooting that officially injured a man early Sunday morning. So you see, we just shooting. It's rap music. That's what it is. An investigation, of course, is also underway for 2 people shot at a gas station in Montgomery on Saturday night. So again, I know they tell us that the crime is down, but I don't know. Also, 3 men, and these are 3 white guys. I just gotta be fair. 3 men arrested for kidnapping, trafficking, sexually abusing children in an underground bunker in Bibb County. I mean, really, is it that serious? I mean, really, an underground bunker? Okay, I'm lost now. I don't know why I just don't know why we do things like that. What makes a human being do something like that? In an underground bunker. A suspect arrested for Montgomery's double homicide. Okay, this happened the other day. A suspect is now in custody charged with 2 related homicides that happened Saturday. Monday, police said. Wow. Now, the one good thing that is going on this year in school is that we're not allowing phones in the classroom. Now, I'm telling you, our school board doesn't normally make good decisions most of the time. In my mind, when it comes to cultural issues, they don't. They just don't. They really give in to the culture as opposed to fixing, getting rid of the problem after all. Okay. So 2 campaigns. Okay. Well, that's not 2 campaigns. Let's see. And they said they're also going to they're going to release some money. They're going to release some money to some schools here in Montgomery. So, okay, that's a pretty good thing to do, I guess. It's not that the school doesn't have enough money, but we always we just can't. I know we just can't seem to have enough money for school. I mean, they got the biggest budget of any department, and for some reason, we can't seem to have enough money for public school. Well, in Talca County, the upcoming 25-26 school year will be the first for everyone, as school system will need to enforce a new ban on wireless devices in classroom, namely cell phones. Each system has the freedom to decide to enforce the Focus Act. Now we're giving them a choice. We shouldn't give them a choice in their schools. In Autauga County, students must have their devices, including phones, smartwatches, laptops, tablets, and more, turned off and stored somewhere like a locker or bag, which means if they put it in a bag, which means they can probably still get used to it. Punishment can range from warning to one time, or get a second chance alternatives, or go to a second chance alternative school, depending on the student's grade level and how many times he's broken the rule. The rationale behind this is that guys, whether we like it or not, it is the law. Autauga County Superintendent Lyman Woodfin, is he related to the mayor in Birmingham? Liked it, and I'm all good. I'm all good for it. There's no reason why a kid needs a cell phone in a classroom. Anybody think that there's no reason why you need one? You don't need one. We did good. Okay, we did good for years without cell phones in a classroom. All we have done is create a environment where everything is chaotic now. You do not need, if somebody needs to go call their mom or dad, let them go to the office like they used to do when I was in school. Okay, you don't need a cell phone. Okay, now the fact of the matter is they don't have, I don't believe they have lockers in schools anymore for kids to have. I don't think we do. I think they need them. Put their personal gear in. I mean, so do these kids actually have to walk around all day long with a backpack? Really? I mean, that's crazy. Give these kids a locker, okay? Let's see. Greg says ICE is not assuming anyone is here illegally. Well, yeah, I think there has to be some assuming going on, okay? Because if you didn't have assuming going on, then how could you pull up at a construction site not knowing anybody there? You assume. So you go in there to check to make sure that your assumption is correct. But ICE does assume that certain people, because of certain demographics, are there illegally. They do assume that. And listen, I don't know if it is a wrong assumption, but there is some assuming going on. I mean, come on now. You know that. I mean, yeah, they are. They are. I mean, and listen, is it an incorrect assumption? I couldn't tell you, but I do know one thing. If everybody there, nobody speaks English, that's a good sign that they may not be from here, which is cool with me. I don't care. I'm trying to learn Spanish as it is anyway, so I can talk to the brothers, to my amigo. And I'm doing pretty good. I've been holding some conversations lately. So, and now I know when people are talking about me anyway, when they say something nasty. Yeah, I got them now. I got them. Yeah. I know. But I don't say nothing unless they really say something really, really nasty. Then I just leave it alone. But that's okay. I can live with that. Anyway, my time's up, man. Where did they go? Where did the day go? It's gone already. So hopefully tomorrow or so we'll be back, and we're gonna have to deal with this issue of so much violence here in no place else in the surrounding area. I think we all know why, but nobody wants to say it. I'll tell you tomorrow why. It is what it is. Yeah. So have a good one, and remember, it's always a good day to be on top of the ground, and the ground's not on top of you. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya, unless you're rich and handsome. Maybe. See you later.